Okay, welcome to the first webinar of 2016. We're going to be calling it, Why Should I Blog? I felt the need to do this webinar because a lot of questions come for why in the world do I need a blog attached to my website, what's its purpose, things like that. And so we're going to go over a bunch of the reasons why you should be doing your blogging and how it's going to make your business more successful. If you have ever worked with me before, I'm Tracy. I am the success coordinator here at Brandco. I consider myself a blogger, a client whisperer, and an inbound marketer. Inbound is kind of like what you're doing whenever you're creating blogging content so that you're able to get people to your websites by inward traffic. So a lot of you have probably had appointments with me or spoke with me at a trade show, and if you haven't, please let's set up an appointment outside of these webinars, and we can get to know each other better, and I can help out your business when it comes to directing your blog traffic and information that we can get going for you and make sure that your blogging efforts are worthwhile. All right, so how many of you blog already? You're going to have a poll on your screen. Just go ahead and mark yes or no if you already blog on your website or if you don't. Okay, so we've got about 88% coming in, and that's 57 of you that have blogged already and 90 of you that, 47% that have not. Okay, well that's pretty good. I think it's really important to give an idea of what kind of class we're talking to today. Now, for me, I do blog. I'm a blogger myself. I do it here at Brandco. I write all the content on the blog. I blog for my hobby, which is making costumes and teaching people how to do the techniques that I learned. And on top of that, I run an outside Brandco nonprofit organization that I make sure that we blog on there as well. So I understand the importance of it. You're not talking to someone that's not practicing what I'm preaching, okay? Why do you blog? If you'll go ahead and answer the poll. If it's not one of the ones that's listed, go ahead and mark other. Now, everybody blogs for a different reason. A lot of people will just do it because they're told to and things like that. So I want to know what your purpose is and why you've been blogging. Okay, it seems like a lot of you so far are blogging for SEO, which definitely is the purpose of why blogging is there. And I like that some people actually did pick the option that I put in there for because I was told to. And that was probably from us here at Brandco. So at least you're listening, and that's important. And I love the 7% that said this because it's fun. I'm in the same boat with you, but I believe that comes with time. And everyone else in this webinar will hopefully feel the same once they start getting going with this. All right, so the major answer to that last poll was SEO. And I love that y'all answered that because 64% of you know that this is the main reason that we have blogging available on websites these days. Do you know what SEO is, though? Just go ahead and let me know. Because a lot of people will just kind of hear the term and just go with it, but not really know that it's what it means, except for the fact that, it's search engine optimization, if you know at least what the acronym stands for. But what does it do? What is SEO, and why do we all want it so bad? All right, I love that 59% of you guys do know what SEO is. Those 18% that are saying no, or the 24% that's saying kinda. Around last year, I could say that I was probably in the same boat with those of you that are saying kinda. All right, so SEO is search engine optimization. So it is the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring that the site appears high on the list of results returned by a search engine. It's a little technical, but it's important to know what the exact definition of SEO is. However, that doesn't tell us how to get SEO. It's just saying that we want to appear high. Of course we do. We want to be found when it comes to search engines. So search engine optimization is what fuels your website. And the more content you have on your website, the more SEO you have. So the more pages you add to your website, mostly by way of blogging, the more ability it is for you to build that search engine optimization. So just a quick fact, 22% of new U.S. registered domains run on WordPress. WordPress is one of the most popular blogging platforms on the internet. Now, if you have a piggyback blog, then you are most definitely using a WordPress platform. And what I'm meaning by search engine optimization and the number of pages that you have, you're able to actually search that information and see how you're doing on your search engine optimization. So let me switch my screen real quick and show you how to look this up for yourself. All right, so right off the bat, we have Brandco.com's site index. And if you ever want to look up what your site index is, it will be site, S-I-T-E, colon, and then your domain name with no www, no blog, no like search or anything like that written in front of it. That'll tell you everything that is housed underneath your domain name that a search engine, namely Google, has accounted for and indexed for you. So if you look at what Brandco has, we have at least 1,230 results, and that's the ones that we've allowed for search engines to index. If you look in different, if you're one of those people on the eAgency platform and you haven't changed your domain name, like you're using the x34752.yourkwagent.com address, you're then mixed into the yourkwagent.com domain name for the SEO. So anything you do is kind of going to backfire for you. You're listed along with all the other people that are using their default domain name that they're given from your KW agent or from your eAgency site being created. So there's 375,000 people that are all on there, and every person that is using one of those kinds of websites is usually sitting at around 32 pages, which is not a lot, as you can see just by what Brandco has. And we've only really started our blogging efforts about a year ago. Now, if you have changed your domain name, your page indexing is yours. You get to keep it. But if you don't have a blog, you're not going to be regularly adding to that easily. So you could look at ShellyBrownProperties.com. Shelly just recently canceled her blog, and I was able to grab someone that doesn't have a blog on their eAgency website. So you can see here that she only has 17 results. That's going to hurt when it comes to trying to be found in a search engine. Now, search engines are picking up and reading. The best way I put it is they're looking through your content like little spiders, crawling all through it to find out what information they're able to find. And that's how they decide whether or not they're going to recommend a website when someone comes in and makes a question. So the next reason why, outside of SEO, there's other reasons why we do blogging. We're going to get more customers because of it. Now, if you're in the boat where you're not seeing new customers because of your blogging efforts, be sure to be in my webinar for next week, which will focus around your content planning. Content and what you're actually writing about is what's really important when it comes to making sure that you're making an impact. 60% of businesses who blog acquire more customers. That's big. It's because the information that you're providing to clients is what's on your website available to them already, letting them know about you and why they should purchase from you before they even contact you for the first time. Blogging allows for you to stand out to your potential clients that builds confidence, relationships, and sales. It's a two-way conversation so that people are able to talk to you and you can talk back and it's public. It shows that you're an expert in the field and it allows that information to be found by others without having to actually know you, know your name, know your business, know your company name, all that kind of stuff already. If they're searching for information and they find you on that first page, second page, or if they're very specific to just saying they want to find a home in a community, you're going to become that information of not that fountain of knowledge that someone's going to come to depend on. So, aside from more customers, the next would definitely be that, content marketing is what the world is going through now. Like I said earlier, I consider myself an inbound marketer. Inbound marketing is content marketing. When you put your information on the internet, people come to you rather than you having to constantly say, hey, go to my website, go to my website, go to my website. They're finding you, and it's inbound traffic. Content is what's important. When you blog, you need to stay more focused on what your target is. So it allows for you to shape your business and sharpen the focus of your business, because when you're blogging, you're more aware of whether or not you're answering the questions that your clients have. As it says here, a blog with no focus attracts no readers. So that's why I say if you're having the issue where you're not getting the more customers, then let's talk next week. My content planning webinar is specifically about this, about having a focused blogging effort so that your business is represented appropriately and you get the appropriate kinds of clients that you're looking for. But your blog is the heart of all of your content marketing efforts. It's where all your information comes from for your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, all that social media, all those offers that you give to people. It has to be in your blog because that's where it's easily accessible for your clients. All right, and one of the last ones would definitely be that it allows you to do an analytics and reporting. All right, so analytics and reporting are going to be gauging your traffic by looking at your views, looking at what happens when people go there, what pages they end up clicking, and things like that tell you what they're thinking and whether or not something is or is not working inside of your website. So here's a quick question. Have you ever used Google Analytics? And go ahead and be honest with me. And when I say used means, have you ever looked at it to see what it's told you? I mean, a lot of people set it up, but a lot of people don't go and look at it. And I'll be honest, there's times when I don't do this either. I utilize Jetpack, and I know that a lot of you probably do that as well. But Jetpack doesn't tell you as much as Google Analytics does, and it's obviously not as easy to read. All right, so it looks like we have 11 people that are saying yes, 44 are saying no, and along with that is another 44 that says that they've set them up on their website, but that's it. I figured. That's why I put that option in there. Google Analytics gives you the information about your audience, and it's free. It tells you the day of the week that works best for you, for your visitors. It'll tell you what's happening today. It'll tell you what's been happening the past year. Depending on, obviously, when you set it up, it only starts on that day. It can't backtrack and know how your views were like last week whenever you didn't have it set up. But let's take a second and do a little overlook of Google Analytics. I have it set up over here, so let me go back over. Okay, so this is Google Analytics, and you can get here probably the same way that I do, which is I go to Google and I just type in Google Analytics. And it's a free account. There are obviously, like with all things, the option to buy a premium version and things like that, but mostly everything you need is going to come in that free version, especially if you're not like extremely professional and proficient on, you know, reading and looking at all this stuff. Now, I'll be honest, the information that you're given in Google Analytics is a little bit vast. As you can see here, whenever you enter into your area to see what's going on, you're presented with your audience overview. And this is obviously after you've gotten it set up, and it's been set up for a while. So I'm looking at a specific website that we've launched here at Brandco, and you can see that the sessions and the views have been going on pretty good. This is just for the day. If we look at the month, you can see how, you know, maybe she hasn't been blogging as much or something like that. Maybe she hasn't met as many people and given her business cards out or things like that. There are a lot of things that you can check. Some of the key pieces that I have in my, like, these are the places to go look kind of things, would be to go and look in behavior and to go under site content, and you can look at all the pages, and you're at that time able to see by day, week, or month. So if we're looking just today, these are the, right? Yeah, looks like it's for today. So if you look here, these are the pages that got the most viewed today. So you're able to see where the content or where the traffic is going. You can look at landing pages. Landing pages are usually where you've got contact forms and things like that that people would be clicking. And you can see a lot of different information inside of here. Under acquisition, under all traffic, you can look to see what channels and referrals you're getting inside here. Meaning, where is your traffic coming from? So if you look under referrals, you can see where people were when they got sent to this website. Sometimes there's a little bit of weird stuff in here, but other than that, you can see that, you know, HendersonvilleKW.com is sending a lot of traffic in her direction, and KW.com is sending a decent amount of traffic to this location. If you look under the channels, you can see that paid search is making a big difference for her. The rest of it is organic, social, or direct, or referral. And then lastly, there was a, inside the audience here, you can look and see the overview of everything that's going on. So it's good to see how many users, how many sessions, and things like that that have happened with this website. So there's a lot of info in there. If you already have it set up, like the 44% that did say that they did, go into your Google Analytics and go explore. See what it has to tell you. There are a lot of tutorials on this. We haven't created any specifically for you yet because there's so many out there already, because it can be a little daunting. There's a lot of data in here. That doesn't mean you have to look at all of it. All right. The last reason why you should blog is fun. I know it doesn't seem like it yet, but once you become a blogger, like this becomes the thing that you do, when you're out and about in the towns that you work in, you're going to just see something happening and be like, you know what, I should write a blog about that. Or I bet somebody's going to search for that information soon. Or if somebody asks you a question, you're going to be like, oh, that would be a great blog post. Use that, and eventually you'll see that it's so much easier to like send someone a link to your website because the information will already be there rather than having to say the same thing over and over. It's easier when you have a blog to become more of a leader than a follower by way of setting an example through your website. Blogging can be energizing, stimulating, and something you look forward to, and a huge benefit to your business. I know it may not seem like it yet, but I promise that if you put the effort into your blog, your business will begin to succeed due to it. All right. Last poll, guys. Do you see the importance of blogging to your business's success? I know we've talked about a lot of information and how what blogging does and its purpose can add to your business, but I want to see if it sunk in and if you got it or not. Now I see here that 8% have said no. The 8% that still says nope, please contact me and let's discuss it together so that maybe we can figure out what that extra thing is, that disconnect between writing and giving that content to the potential users. And that 13%, it says that they see the importance, but they still don't want to. I've always given the option to people, or the suggestion rather, if you don't have the time or the energy or the want to blog for yourself, take someone from your community, such as an intern from a local school or something like that, and allow for them to have the ability to blog for you. It's good whenever they're local, because local people know more about what you're going to want to sell, and that's helpful. Also, on top of that, a lot of people that are graduating from college these days have a hard time finding jobs afterwards. So if they're given the ability to earn internships experience, then they're able to go a little bit further, and you would be part of that. So that's my 2 cents on the yeah, but I still don't want to. Is do it every once in a while for yourself, but bring in an intern. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask for questions. And I have one here from Carla. She says, how often, and the trouble for me is getting pictures and images. When I'm asked regularly how often you should blog for a blog, write content for your blog, I try to say at least once a week. Once a week is going to give you a lot of content, especially if you're utilizing like categories and things like that too, because categories get their own index inside of Google too. Once a week, and then it's going to become part of a routine, and then you're going to end up doing it more often. Now, sporadically, you may do 3 one week and then 1 the next. Don't beat yourself up if you can't do 3 every week. As long as you're writing, you're going to be in a really good condition. And it says that the trouble for you is getting pictures and images. Everybody's phone these days takes really nice photos. So when you're out and about, take photos of what's going on. So if you're going to write about a community event, take a photo at it. Take a selfie. Post that on the blog. Your photos have the ability to be posted on your own website. Not a problem. I wrote a blog post probably 2 weeks ago about why you can't just take Google images. The reason why you can't just take Google images is because there's a good possibility that they can be copywritten. Now, how do I watch out and not get those that are copywritten? So let me real quickly go to Google, and now I'll share this screen with you. If I could type, all right. All right, so if you're at Google and we want to find a picture of homes of Orlando that we want to put inside of our blog. Now, if you go under images, you would think that you could just take any of these. And sadly, you just can't, because some of them may not be takeable, and you could get fined. But if you do search tools here, this whole drop-down area will come open. And you'll notice that they added in a section called usage rights. If you click down on the usage right, you can do label for reuse or label for non-commercial. Obviously, all of your websites are for commercial use, so you can do labeled for reuse. And these would be images that you technically could use. Now, if you give credit to the places where you got them from, then you're even more so covered and you're going to be better off. If you want to go the even safer route, us here at Brandco, what we do is we purchase rights to photos through companies like iStock, which isn't technically clip art or anything like that, but it gives you nice photos that you can choose from and things like that. So, there's places like this that you can go to as well. So I hope that answers your question, Carla. And you followed up with a question asking if once a week is the minimum, is there too many in a week? I don't know if I would say there's too many in a week, but I would definitely say there's too many in a day. So let's say you're really on a roll on a Sunday and you wrote 5 blog posts back to back to back, spread them out. Don't post all 5 in one day and then not post again for 3 weeks. That's what the internet would consider blogging spam, and that you want to try to avoid that. So I wouldn't say there's too many, and if you would hit the I posted too many in a week, come and talk to me because I want to read them. But I wouldn't say I would worry too much about writing too much. Okay. Kim Douglas asks, when posting to your blog, can you just copy something you've seen online and post that? Kim, I get this question a lot, and it's unfortunate. Now, if you were to write an essay in college and you read someone else's essay and you copy and pasted that in and turned it in and you got caught for doing it, you'd get in trouble in school. And the same thing kind of goes on the internet. But you're not really going to get in trouble unless they find it. But the search engines know that that content's already on the internet. So it's really important to not take content from other people's websites. Here's what I say for people to do. Whenever it comes to grabbing content, don't grab content, grab inspiration. Such as, like, a lot of people bring up the keepingcurrentmatters.com website. And while the content that is on that website is fantastic, you have access to that content as well as probably hundreds of other people. So if everybody's copying that content and putting it on their websites, saying it's their own, they're not getting any credit for it. Search engines know when that content is duplicated from somewhere else on the internet. So they're going to penalize you or just pay no attention to yours. Google cares whether or not your content is original. So if you find information that's like really speaking to you and you're like, man, I want to share this, quote it or summarize it and then link out to it so someone can read the full amount. Don't copy and paste the whole thing into your blog and claim that it's your own, okay? Next question from Patrick. Do you set up a schedule, long-term plan, with what you will blog each week to keep on track and focused? That's like the dream, Patrick. If you're able to do that, you're going to be doing great. I have a problem doing it myself because, like I said, I do blog on multiple places and my brain's a little all over the place, and sometimes it's hard to get on track. But if you make a plan, it's what people call a content calendar. And if you look around on Pinterest, you'll find a bazillion different processes and ways to make a content calendar. Some people will utilize just, saying on these days I write these topics in their Google Calendar. Or they'll use like Evernote and then, put everything in categories so they can write really well and write ahead of time and things like that too. So if you're able to set up a schedule and come up with an idea of what to blog about and have it all planned out, and you're that kind of person that can stick to a schedule once you've set it, by all means, you're going to do really, really well then. Just be sure that the content you're writing about is focused and it's going to target the people that you're going to want to bring to your website. So I think that's a great plan. Way to go, Patrick. From Sharon, what about pics from Yelp? Then I am just putting credit at the end. Is that okay? I guess so. Whenever you're using those pictures from Yelp, Sharon, are you linking so that if someone clicks on that picture on your website, then they're able to just go to where it's located on Yelp? Because if that's the case, then you're probably fine because you technically didn't take the photo and change the URL of it. But, I mean, the best way to do all of this stuff is to obviously have your own unique content, linking it to the website of the business. Okay, I mean, honestly, it probably could be okay. I'm not 100% sure on whether or not Yelp photos are copywritten. I'm just going to do a quick search and see. And this, anytime you have a question about things like this, I do just go and quickly do a check inside of Google and see if people take this stuff, or if it's says that Yelp has the ability and the right to use any content for any purpose that is put on there. But I don't see if there's the ability on there for people to be able to take it and then grab it for themselves. So I would just suggest maybe doing a little bit of research and making sure. But if you're linking to the business, then it should be fine. But I don't know if that would technically be the business's photos. Just do some research on it. Just do a little bit of Google juice involved with it, and I'm sure you'll find out the definitive answer about whether or not it's okay to use Yelp. All right. So I'm going to start winding down. If anyone else has any additional questions, feel free to go ahead and send them now. If not, we will begin to conclude today's webinar. So I hope that everyone will also attend next week's webinar. The focus of it is content planning. As I said earlier in this webinar, that it's very important to make sure that your blogging efforts are focused. So if you're not writing about what you want to be found for, I don't want you to end up wasting your time, okay? If you have additional questions, and if you are the kind of person that said that you do not see the importance of blogging, I would love it if you scheduled an appointment with me so that we can talk one-on-one. And you can do so by going to calendly.com/beatco_Tracy, as you can see on the screen. Or you can send me an email at tracy@brandco.com. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.